All right. It's been a little while. Um, hey, it's Icepick. I'm here starting a brand new Nuzlocke. I decided to go ahead and pick up a Ultra Moon Nuzlocke. Don't worry, everybody. I own a game. Well, let me go through the rules that I'm going to be using for this Nuzlocke playthrough. I'll also include these at the bottom of each video in the notes section so that you can see what I'm looking at and the rules that I have. To start with the rules, we're going to have the general rules of a Nuzlocke, which is that the first rule, of course, is that if a Pokemon faints, it is not fainted, it's dead. You put it into the graveyard in the Pokebox or you release it. Me personally, I like to remember the fallen, so I tend to use the graveyard method and just kind of have a box that I put them in and let them stay in forever. Maybe a kinder, gentler thing, instead of saying they die, maybe instead what happens is they're retired. They're crippled and can't battle anymore, but can still live full and happy lives. However you want to look at it. The second rule is the first time you enter a new location, you can only catch the first Pokemon that you run into. Now this brings into rules 2A, 2B, and 2C. 2A is if you run into a Pokemon in a new location that, what's the word I'm looking for here? If you run into a Pokemon in a new location that you've already caught, then you can skip that encounter and you don't have to catch another one. You can keep going until you run into a Pokemon that you haven't caught before, and then you can catch that one. The next part of the rule is no shinies. Rather, the shiny rule. I'm using the shiny rule, which means shinies are exempt from all of the other rules. If you run into one, you can catch it at any time. However, if you do catch one, you are obligated to find a way to use it in your party. So, that's the other half of it. Let's see. What else is there? I'm going to... obviously, the other rules for Pokemon that are exempt for these rules are event Pokemon, legendaries you have to run into, things like that. Obviously, you can try and catch those because they're sort of outside of everything else. The other thing is, this is sort of a rule specific to Sun and Moon, or Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. In trial locations where you can't catch Pokemon until you defeat the trial champion, the trial Pokemon, the first one you run into after you beat the trial Pokemon, then you can catch it. Pokemon you run into before that don't count. So when I say first time you run into a Pokemon in a new area, that's when you have the opportunity to catch it. The addendum to that is also when you run into a Pokemon and you're able to catch Pokemon. So, with the rules out of the way, let's get this started. It looks like the emulator I'm using is going to have it be nighttime forever. So I guess you could call this a little bit of a nighttime run or something like that. I've opened this emulator and everything a couple of times today, and it's been nighttime every time, so I think it's going to be a nighttime only run. And if that's the case, then, well, we'll just have to deal with that. Meowth hissed at me. Alright. Power of science is amazing, guy. Every game, man, every game. Now, time for the professor to appear. That's probably going to be one of our first Pokemon. I mean, judging by the way these things usually work. And off it runs. I'm not going to read all of his lines. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you've already read all these lines. But if you haven't, I am going to at least stop long enough so that if you want to read all the lines, you can go ahead and pause the video and read the lines at your leisure. Now, I did some research onto which one of these guys I should pick. In my first run-through, which was off-stream, or off YouTube, off everything, I picked Litten. Litten is the consensus best of the three, at least by what he's able to accomplish. And I've also done a run with Rowlet before, which is why, in this instance, for this playthrough, I will, of course, be choosing Poplio. Now, one of the other rules of a Nuzlocke run is that you always have to name your Pokemon. That way it hurts so much more when they actually do faint. So I have to try and think about what I want to name this Poplio. Usually I take a few steps to get from point A to point B, like a few logical leaps to decide what I'm going to name them. Let me think for a second here. It's a male, like most starters. I think it's like 90% or 85% of starters are male. Let me see here. Seals. Brings me to Seal, the singer, Kiss from a Rose. And then Rose was the companion of the Ninth Doctor, who was played by Christopher Eccleston. And that's how I usually name Pokemon. I won't run through this for every single one I catch. What I will do is show you all of their nicknames as I get there. I just wanted to give you a heads up on my process as I get from point A to point B. All right. So, looks like I'm about 8 minutes in. I want each of these videos to be about a half an hour. And, you'll see pretty much everything except for when I'm grinding, because grinding isn't very fun to watch, and I would have to fill all that time with talking, too. So I don't really want to do that. Not that I mean, surely some of you guys want to see it, but I promise, not going to mess with you. We are for sure going to be following all the rules. If anybody faints during grinding and training, I'll reactivate the video and show it to you. But other than that, it's going to be pretty much straight on through. To be honest, what I'm more likely to do is do all the grinding. I'll do most of my grinding off camera, is probably what I'm going to spend most of my time doing. Because with the system I've got set up right now, most likely I'm probably going to be doing these videos in one sitting, just kind of playing as I go. So look for that, I guess. I'll go back to talk to my mom because I think she can give you some Pokeballs at this point. Nope, not yet. Okay, so you got to run to Iki Town first. So let's do that. So as a reminder, this first encounter that I'm definitely going to have in this grass does not count toward the Pokemon for Route 1. It doesn't count because I don't have the opportunity to catch this Rattata. So it doesn't count toward my total. And just to confirm that, just so you guys can see, as you can see, I have a completely empty bag at this moment. So let's just get through this fight, and then we'll get pressing onward so we get to the real fun part of these things, which is actually getting to the training. The other thing I was going to do, actually, was I was planning on checking the IVs of each Pokemon I catch. Now, early on, it's not going to give me a very good guess as to what the actual IVs of the Pokemon I have are, but I do intend on checking it. So now that I'm thinking about that, I'm going to go, and this will help inform me on which Pokemon I should be using, too. I mean, obviously you want a good type balance, but I would like to be using mostly good Pokemon as well. So let's check this. And I'll open up off screen my IVs calculator so you guys don't have to see that. So we got a level 5. What is my nature on this Poplio? What is Christopher's nature? His nature is timid. That's a good one, I think, for this, isn't it? Let's see. Timid is... I don't remember which one timid is. Isn't it the special attack up? And... or is it like attack down, speed up, I think? I don't remember. Anyway, let's have a look here. I got 20 HP. I've got 9 attack, 11 defense, 12 special attack, 10 special defense, and 9 speed. So let's have a look-see here at Poplio and calculate. Obviously, it's going to have a pretty big range. Looks like I've got a bad HP, 0 to 19. Attack could be anything. Defense is pretty good. Special attack is pretty good. It could be, it's about average. Special defense is bad, and speed is going to be bad. So, unfortunately, our Poplio doesn't seem to be that good. We'll see what happens. I mean, obviously, you want to use your starter because the starters do have really good base stats. So even if you don't have the world's greatest IVs, it doesn't matter that much because they can still be very good because of their move balance, their type balance, and everything else. So it's just because it has bad IVs doesn't mean it's not necessarily a good choice to use going forward. All right, let's meet our quote-unquote rival, even though everybody knows Hao is kind of a joke, at least until later on. So we'll get through this. I'm trying not to talk over the text too much, too. Alright, so let's get ready for the first fight, which is coming up very soon. And I have not ground Poplio at all. Maybe I should go ahead and grind Poplio up to level 6, just to make sure we don't bite it in the first fight. That would be kind of lame. Well, it's too late for that. Alright, well, I mean, we have the type advantage, so it shouldn't be an issue. I think I'm going to go ahead and just water gun this poor Litten into oblivion, which is pretty much what always happens. Alright. Water gun ahoy. Big surprise, the Litten's got a little bit of speed on us. Fortunately, that doesn't matter. Not at all. Man, Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon really just kind of ease you into it, don't they? By giving you the type advantage right from the very beginning. I mean, I guess that's one way to do it, I suppose. Not like Hao is Gary taking the type advantage against you because he's a jerk. Anyway, that's your first battle, your first trainer battle. Not that it really counts. Alright, can we get to the fun part of the Nuzlocke where we actually start doing some of this stuff? Sheesh. One of the nice things about the newer games, though, is they have so many extra areas that you can go to. So you have a lot more options for a Nuzlocke rather than the more limited amount of Pokemon you can catch in some of the other games. So it's very helpful in that sense. This one's only level 2, shouldn't be a problem at all, even though we didn't heal. Almost one shot. So, Poplio is faster than a level 2 Rattata. So, he's got that going for him, which is nice. You know, I don't even know what effort values Alolan Rattatas give. That's a paralyzed heal. So again, no Pokeballs yet, but we'll be getting them soon. Okay, Caterpie. All right, that's another option we can have. Getting our early game Butterfree is never really a bad thing. If nothing else, it makes it a lot easier to catch Pokemon since Butterfree can come with compound eyes, and that means that Butterfree can also hit 100% of the time with Sleep Powder, which is very nice for catching Pokemon in the wild. In a perfect world, we'll get something that gets False Swipe, and that would be even better. Alright, let's get out of this area here before we had too many more random battles, and move on to Iki Town. Very nice place. One of the other things I really like about this generation is the Pokemon sounds that you have all the time, just in the background. It really actually adds to the ambiance quite a lot, I think. Alright, we've reached Iki Town. Alright, let's go do the side stuff. Go, quote-unquote, meet Tapu Koko. All that stuff. So we can actually get to the meat of this Nuzlocke. The sound design for this game is actually really good as well. Alright, we meet Lily here coming up pretty soon. For every Pokemon game with a rival, there's also a helpless damsel in distress. That's not always true, but there is in this game. Enjoy the cutscene. Little cutscene, but a cutscene. Alright, let's go knock out some Spearows. Thanks for the heal. Like I said, they really hold your hand to start this game. But let's just do some water gunning and get these things out of the way. Again, this doesn't count toward our goal, toward our Nuzlocke rules, because this is not actually available for a catch. We have no Pokeballs, and it's a, I guess it's a sort of boss battle, so it does not count as our Ruins Pokemon for this run. That was nice. It leered us twice, so we were just able to water gun it twice and get out of this fight right away. That's nice. Doesn't come any easier than that, really. And bridge shakes, bridge shakes, bridge shakes. You know what's happening now. Those mean old Spearows. Yay! Everything went better than expected. So much cutscene before we get into the meat of this game. We're already 20 minutes into this video. I wonder if we're even gonna get to the point where I can catch our first team member before this video runs out. I mean, I guess it's okay if that happens, because then at that point we're talking about, you know, just basically having an intro video, which is not the worst thing. They animate all those cutscenes. They can't animate Nebby climbing into the bag. That strikes me as very funny. Of course, I'll see you back to town. If somebody could tell me this, I really am not in a position to look it up, but kukui is obviously a kind of Hawaiian tree, right? Somebody could confirm that for me. You're welcome to. Goodness me. Just giving my dog a pet. It's been so long since I did this YouTube thing. It's going to be hard for me to get into the swing of talking the whole time to keep things interesting. But what are you going to do? The other thing I love, though, is Lily talking about swearing you to secrecy about Nebby's presence. And now he's just out here in front of everybody. Just whatever. No big. Like, I know that old dude in the background is probably not supposed to be seeing this Pokemon right now. Goodness, goodness. Could we get to the actual gameplay, please? There goes Jack. Jeez. Is that the Pokeballs? Nope, that's the Pokédex. Sheesh. Trainer passport to go from island to island, as is necessary. Alright. Oh, jeez. Give him the sparkling stone so he can make us a Z thing. Oh, there's a festival. Alright, well, I'll be sure to train up to level 10 then. to make sure everything's good on the festival. By the way, Cosmog weighs like 3,000 pounds or something ridiculous. I assume it just ignores gravity at will. Alright, you sleep. The next day. Alright. It's the professor, I'm pretty sure. Or no, it's How, isn't it? No, it's the professor this time. People just barging into my house. Yeah, I definitely believe that you guys are going to unpack those boxes, he said, looking in the closet where he still has boxes packed. You give me Pokemon balls yet? Nope, not yet. Dang it, I want to get at least, I won't end this video until I've at least had a chance to collect our first team member. Alright. Professor's going to show us how to catch Pokemon. Well, let's get through that. It's going to be a Gumshoes, I think. Or a Yungoos. Oh no, Grubbin. Okay, that's an option here? It wouldn't be a bad first catch. Rockruff isn't bad either, but you can't catch a Rockruff until after you can get to 10 Carat Cave. And I may want to, you know, do my best to try and catch something unique in there by trying to catch some other things. Like, I would love it if I could catch a, what are they called? If I could catch a Noibat in there, I think you could find Noibats in there. That would absolutely make my day if that were to happen. The odds are pretty low, obviously. There's like a whole lot of other things that you could run into instead of the Noibat in 10 Carat Hill. But if I could, that would be absolutely amazing. Alright. We're gonna get some Pokeballs? Alright. Now we can finally get this going. And I know with my crappy attack stat on Poplio, I won't knock anything out. Alright, so, our catch for Route 1. It's time. Time to really get this Nuzlocke started. Whew. So it looks like it's sunset in the game. The two fields of grass. The field of grass overlooking the bay. First two fields of grass east of the player's house. Looks like I've got a few different options here. Hopefully I get something really interesting. I would love it if I could get a Bunnery or a Pichu. Those would both be pretty cool. I'd be alright if it's considered nighttime and I could get a Spinnerack as well. It's been a while since I had one of those. But let's see what happens and what I wind up with here. Grubbin. Alright, that's not a bad choice. Grubbin is, I believe, Bug Electric. That'll give us some neat type coverage if we can catch it. So let's go ahead and start things off with a Growl, since I'm going to be throwing Pokemon balls this battle. Yeah, lower my speed. I don't really care. Alright. And I know that Grubbin doesn't have any electric moves at this level, so there's no risk of getting knocked out or anything. Alright, we can definitely hit with a few more of these pound attacks. Alright, that Vice Grip didn't do very much, especially with the Growl I threw on. So we're in good shape here. Alright, it's in critical hit range. I really don't want to kill my first catch. So instead, I'm going to start throwing balls even at this relatively high hit point total, because things have a pretty high catch rate at this low level. So I'm not too worried about wasting a whole lot of balls trying to catch this girl. There you go. First route, first run, first catch. All right. We got ourselves a Grubbin. Right now, Grubbin is just a bug type. Let's go ahead and give Grubbin a nickname. So let's see, it's a female Grubbin. Now let's see, let me think for a second here. Just trying to think of a few things here to think of a good name for this Grubbin. Yep, I got it. And if any of you guys can ever figure out why I name something what I name it, obviously no points for guessing why Christopher got his name. You get bonus points. They don't mean anything, but you get the bonus points. Now let's go ahead and see if I can get a rough gauge of the EVs that this Grubbin has, or the IVs. It's going to be really hard to tell, like I said, because it's such a low level. But we can maybe learn some of the basic ranges that we're looking at for our Grubbin here. It's a quiet-natured. Stats are... we have 18 hit points. Actually, let me start by doing this. 18... Level 4, quiet nature, 18 hit points, 10 attack, 9 defense, 11 special attack. Well, not 44, good lord. 9 special defense, and 8 speed. What are we looking at here? The overall IVs are better than on our Poplio. The special attack's actually a really good IV. It's going to be at least 15. But everything else has a range that includes very high numbers. So we'll see how this goes for her. But that's going to be the end of this video. We're going to go ahead and get out of here, and I'm going to try and do one of these videos every day. I'm not going to guarantee that because I'm busy and I have a job and I do other things, but I'll try and get videos up at least once a day. I'll try and get videos up once a day. You know, no less than several times a week. Keep your eyes peeled for them, and hopefully this run goes well. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Have a good one.